What's up, guys? This is part 2 of my tutorial series that I'm doing on templates and all that great stuff. So I only have a few minutes tonight because all these awesome television shows are coming on, Game of Thrones, and I have an episode of Dual Survivor to watch, which is like my all-time favorite show. So I'm just going to shut up and play this piece that I wrote for a project, and we ended up going a completely different direction. So I just thought I'd show you a little bit of how to work on a hybrid piece. Hybrid meaning orchestra plus X, and X can be rock, X can be whatever, electronica. But I'm just going to shut up and hit play. Here it is. Okay, so I'm back with my voice here. One thing about these kind of pieces that all these little things up on the top that I was showing you, the beeping and the pulsing sounds, most of those are coming from Omnisphere. And the problem and the great thing about Omnisphere is that there's so many presets in there that if you expect to write some pieces with these elements, you just got to take the time one night and pick out the ones that fit your style. There's just so many choices for just about every type of music composing in there, so you have to spend your time and figure out what's cinematic in your opinion. So I'll just go through, show you guys what's going on here, and then I'll play the track one more time and I'll talk over a little bit. Pretty much most of the electronic stuff coming from Omnisphere, like I just said. I have Logic in 64-bit mode, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'll show you why, because like you have this 32-bit bridge thing, which kind of drives me nuts. Yeah, I'm clicking you. Okay, well, it doesn't want to open. Anyway, this 32-bit bridge is a good attempt by Apple, and it's not their fault that other people haven't made the 64-bit conversion yet, but it kind of screws you up a little bit. So I have 2 Omnispheres opened. A lot of this stuff is from the new Bob Moog $99 update, which I think is awesome. The horn in the beginning is like a beta version of our Cinebrass horn. This was composed a few weeks ago when Cinesamples brass wasn't ready yet, so I got 1 stylus loop going through a phaser and kind of a telephone EQ. This is a really cool patch by SampleLogic Cinematic Guitars. I have a couple cinematic guitars loaded here, 3 of them. I have, this is the ultimate Drums of War stack. Here, I'm gonna pull it up. Titan Ensemble plus Barbarian Siege plus Skullhammer. And you just layer those, and it's like the best rolls you can get. So make yourself a preset with that. Here's my settings. You gotta dip some of this or else it gets way too hot. And yes, so the strings are Symphobia plus LA's scoring strings, which sounds pretty nice. I have a cool LA scoring strings EQ set up. And here's all my ensemble stuff. You can see there's really not a ton of tracks in this that I'm using which are active. This is just there for shits and giggles. I don't think anybody can hear the VSL winds. A few Symphobia brass stuff, some Symphobia and East-West brass stuff here. I love this Cinesamples military plus piccolo snare doubling. Let's see. Oh, and Drums of War 2 is kind of the big percussion on this track. So I have the Drums of War 2 right here with the concert toms at the end. Some tone hammer doll in that one section. And then my favorite tone hammer patch is this clicky toy, which sounds very Zimmer-like, and I use the glasses, which has kind of a pitch. So I'm gonna hit play. Let me turn this guy down to like -8, and I'll talk through it, and then I'm gonna log off. So see you guys next time for part 3. And don't forget to check out our Go Live contest to win a free day with the orchestra. Just buy a product from Cinesamples between May 15th and August 1st for a chance to win. Here we go. So in the beginning, this was a dialogue-oriented scene. Music had a sneak in. On the sphere pad. Here's our horn from Cinebrass. Just a couple string pedals here. And then right here is where the LA scoring strings comes in. Notice no quantize. And then we have some stuff going on here. The big sounds are coming from the Omnisphere, and I'm doubling them with the spiccato up here. And then something surprising happened here. Here's our power stack roll. And then, oh, I forgot to say we have the trillion bass going here, hardcore, which is awesome. Cine org, above it to fill in the gaps. And this nice Inception guitar is coming from Dispatch, I think. And you know, we got some pulses going, and I got the RMX loop making that kind of. Notice the tempo change. It's actually halftime, but I put the tempo at 130. I'm playing in these guitars. And just a, you know, we got the typical nonsense spiccato stuff going on. Some horn melody. And then they say something really cool here, so it goes into this next section, just playing in the bass, and some cool stuff from cinematic guitars. Anyway, guys, nothing much technical there, but I hope you enjoyed it. My big suggestions on these types of pieces is you have your orchestra ready to go. That way you can spend quality time picking out appropriate sounds for your electronica stuff. And these things expire. Like, you can't just only use like your favorite aid patches. You really need to make your own or find your presets so it does sound a little bit fresh. And like I always recommend, Omnisphere is the shit. Buy your computer, buy your interface and speakers, buy Contact 4 or 5 if it's out when you're watching this, then buy Omnisphere. Don't forget about your sequencer. Omnisphere is awesome, and then you want to get your high quality sample libraries. So that's it, guys. Have a good one.